This video is going to cover the different PSF communication channels and how to engage with them. This video is going to be valuable for members of the Permissionless Software Foundation community, but it's also going to be valuable for people in the basic Bitcoin Cash space. I'm going to show how to do really valuable things like send end-to-end encrypted messages, how to use our web wallet to cryptographically sign a message to prove that you own an address, and things like that. These are communication tools that the Permissionless Software Foundation community are going to use to communicate with one another as we build the community out. So before I get into the nitty-gritty details, let's take a big step back and understand why we're doing these things by focusing on the mission of the Permissionless Software Foundation. So the mission of the Permissionless Software Foundation is to foster growth of open source software and the adoption of Bitcoin Cash across the globe. We believe that this is the best way to promote individual sovereignty and increase prosperity. The foundation will focus on development, maintenance, and promotion of software that makes it easy for individuals to protect their privacy, circumvent censorship, and engage in economic activity. So communication is key to all of these goals. You need to have secure, private, uncensorable communication to protect your privacy. You need that to circumvent censorship, and you need that to engage in economic activity. So communication is the foundation stone upon which we will build our community and achieve our goals. And so that's why this video on how to engage in these different types of communication channels is important. Just to also reemphasize, the Permissionless Software Foundation is a community of JavaScript developers. It's primarily focused on the code and building software to achieve those goals in the mission. But beyond the code, it's also a community of agorists, which is just people trying to engage in economic activity with or without the consent of the government. And so privacy is key in that regard. So this idea expands beyond, first world countries like the United States. It expands into South American countries with broken economies and broken governments. So this is about building tools for everyone globally to engage in economic activity, maintain their privacy, and communicate effectively, regardless of the legal status of any one country with these ideas. Let's talk about some of the more conventional Telegram channels or communication channels that people can engage in right now with regards to the Permissionless Software Foundation. We have a public Telegram channel where anyone can join the conversation. And the best way to find that is to go to psfoundation.cash, the homepage for the Permissionless Software Foundation, scroll to the bottom, and there's a link right here on the Telegram channel that will take you to our public Telegram channel, which is right here. It looks like this. We have a second public Telegram channel called PSF Vip, and this is new. So VIP stands for very important person, and this is what the channel looks like here. And the difference is that while anyone can view that channel, by default, messages are automatically deleted. In order to be able to speak in that channel, you have to prove to the bot that you have a merit score of 30,000, which is, I'll go into more detail on this in a minute, but essentially you have to prove that you have skin in the game. So only people who have proven that they are invested in the PSF community are allowed to speak in that channel. And the reason for this is to reduce the noise of people who do not have skin in the game and amplify the signal of people who have proven cryptographically that they are invested in the well-being of the community. And because those are the people that we want to listen to. And so that's what this channel is set aside for, is for those people who are invested in the community so that people can identify and listen to the real community leaders. We also have a social media channel using memo.cash. If you're unfamiliar with this, it's just like Twitter, but it uses the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. And because it does that, no one can be deplatformed and no one can be blocked. And we'll also show how this feed ties in with one of our messaging apps. So we're building essentially a communication gateway at message.fullstack.cache. This is going to be the go-to resource for people in the Permissionless Software Foundation community. It's also a very useful tool for anybody working with Bitcoin Cash who may or may not be part of the PSF community. It allows you to quickly view our social media community feed. It allows you to send end-to-end encrypted mail messages and soon files of any size to any Bitcoin Cash address. It allows you to sign messages, which lets you cryptographically verify that you own that address, which is useful in a lot of applications. But that's essentially how you prove to the VIP, the bot in the VIP room, that you have the prerequisite merit to be able to speak in that room. And it also allows you to stake tokens, which is useful on a number of fronts for the Permissionless Software Foundation. And I expect to gain popularity in other business applications in the Bitcoin Cash space. So with that initial thought, I'm going to now give a demo. So what I'm going to do in this demo is I will create a new wallet on message.fullstack.cache. I will send it some Bitcoin Cash, and then I will use that Bitcoin Cash to purchase some PSF tokens. I'll then import the private key for that wallet into memo.cache. So this will let the same wallet control money, private messages, and a public social media account, all from the same wallet. Then I'll show how to send messages to the community feed, which is a way for anybody who holds PSF tokens to communicate with the wider PSF community. And then I'll also show how to use message.fullstack.cache to send an end-to-end encrypted message to any Bitcoin Cash address. And this is of particular interest right now because a lot of the governments around the world are trying to ban end-to-end encryption. This is a way to do it that cannot be blocked, stopped, or manipulated by any government. So if you want to know how valuable this technology is and why the governments are trying so hard to prevent you from being able to communicate to any other person on Earth, this is of particular interest. And then lastly, I'll show how to stake tokens. And this is useful for PSF members to gain access to the VIP room and also to do other things like vote on funding grants for future projects. So with that, let me dive into it. In Firefox here, I have a brand new wallet. I've gone to message.fullstack.cache. And if I go here and click on the wallet menu item, there's a new wallet button, and there's no indication that I have a wallet. So what I'm going to do is create a wallet by clicking on this button. And so it just generated a new Bitcoin Cash address. Now I'm going to show the mnemonic and the private key, which is blurred by default. These are normally the two pieces of information that you would write down. You would normally write down this 12-word mnemonic and you would not share it with anybody, because anybody who can get this mnemonic can take your money and impersonate you essentially. And so it's very important that you keep this private and safe. Write them down on a piece of paper. This is how you would restore your wallet if there's ever an issue, if your browser cache got deleted, for instance. So I'm going to copy this down. And I am likewise going to copy my private key because we're going to need this. This will start with either the letter L or the letter K. And I'm also just going to make sure I have the Bitcoin Cash address handy, as well as the SLP address for sending tokens. So these are all the basic information for my wallet at message.fullstack.cache. This is what's going to enable me to engage in all these other communication channels. So now that I have a wallet and I have a Bitcoin Cash address, I'm going to send it a little Bitcoin Cash. So I have over here in Brave browser, I have my own personal test wallet, and I'm going to send this wallet $1 US just to get the ball rolling. So now back in Firefox, I can click this refresh icon, and I can see that the dollar has arrived. So we've created a new wallet. Now let's purchase some PSF tokens. And the way you do that is by going to the Permissionless Software Foundation website at psfoundation.cash. And I can see the current market spot price is 11 cents. And I'm going to purchase those tokens by sending some Bitcoin Cash to this address. So I'm going to go to the send receive menu item in message.fullstack.cash, and I'm going to send it 50 cents. Okay, so that transaction is off, and I can see on the block explorer that it's been broadcasted. Once it's been confirmed, the token liquidity app will exchange the Bitcoin Cash for SLP tokens and send SLP tokens back to my wallet. And then I'll have some SLP tokens, which will enable me to do certain other things, engage in other communication channels. So while we wait for that, let's go ahead and import our private key to memo.cache and create a social media account that's controlled by this wallet. So this is my normal account. I'm going to log out. And so if you don't have an account, when you go to memo.cache, this is what you'll see. And I'm going to click on sign up, and I will come up with a username and password. Let's try calm test. That'll be my username, and my password will be roses are red. And so I'll put those in the username and password boxes. I'm going to select this import key, and this is where I'm going to copy and paste the private key from the web wallet. This is a WIF key, and again, you'll know it's a WIF if it starts with the letter K or L. And then you have to check this box to accept the terms of service. I'm not going to bother saving that. So now I have a new account, and if I click on the icon here and go to account, I can see some basic information. And just like Twitter, you can set your name, you can set a profile picture, you can set a little profile blurb, but everything that you do here costs a tiny fraction of Bitcoin Cash. And so it won't work until you have some Bitcoin Cash. And we have Bitcoin Cash in this wallet, but by default, memo.cache doesn't recognize it. So in order to, now that we have the account, we can get memo.cache to recognize it by simply sending all of our money back to ourselves. So we still currently have about 49 cents in this wallet. And what I'm going to do is just click on the QR code to copy my Bitcoin Cash address. And then I'm going to click on this max button to send everything in the wallet back to the wallet. There we go. So by doing that, we should now be able to refresh the page on memo.cache and see our balance appear there. So now we have money in our account. It's synced with memo.cache. It's funded. We can now do fun things like set our name, set our profile, set a profile picture. So you now have an uncensorable social media account that where you cannot be deplatformed. And let's check on those PSF tokens. So if I go to the tokens menu item and click the refresh button, it does not look like the tokens have arrived yet. But let's go ahead and send a message to the community feed. So in message.fullstack.cache, the very first view that will load is the community feed. And this is based on the same technology that memo.cache uses. And we're rapidly improving it. These Bitcoin Cash addresses will soon be replaced by memo.cache names automatically. So there's a lot of improvement that's going to take place here. And the way this works is there is a corresponding memo.cache account for the Permissionless Software Foundation, and that is here. And we'll have a link to this in this window here soon, but in the meantime, I'll just copy and paste. But yeah, this is the PSF community memo.cache account. And the way that this works is, in order for your message to appear in this community feed, your account has to hold PSF tokens. So if I send a message to this right now, the message wouldn't show up. And I have to wait for the PSF tokens to appear in my wallet first. So we'll just wait for those to appear. Okay, so a block confirmation just came through, and I clicked on the refresh button, and we can see that we now have 4.6 PSF tokens, which is about right. Or it's perfectly right, actually. The exchange rate was at 11 cents, so we sent 50 cents. So yeah, mathematically that works out. And now that we have some tokens in this account, we can now do certain things with regard to the Permissionless Software Foundation community, like send community messages and stake tokens. So if we refresh the memo.cache page, we can see an alert here. Let's go to that alert. And we can see that we've got some PSF tokens. If we go to our profile, we can see that we have some PSF tokens. So memo.cache recognizes SLP tokens. So now that we have some PSF tokens in our account, if we send a message to the PSF community channel, it will be accepted and broadcast on the community feed at message.fullstack.cache. So let's give that a go. If I go to the PSF community account page on memo.cache, I can click send and send a message. And normally I'll just send 600 Satoshis because that's easy to remember. Technically, the smallest amount is 546 Satoshis, but that's a hard number to remember. So I usually just remember 600. Hello, PSF community. This is a demo account. Video will be released soon. So this message, I'm going to click on send. So we're essentially sending 600 Satoshis to this account with a small message attached. And it'll take a minute for the application to recognize that message and display it. So we'll come back and check on it in a minute. But if we go back to our demo outline, see, we've created a wallet, we've purchased PSF tokens, we've imported our private key to memo.cache. We just sent a message to the community feed. And next I'll show how to send an end-to-end encrypted message. But before we do that, let's just see if our message popped up yet. Yeah, there's our message. And so soon this Bitcoin Cash address will be replaced by memo.cache handles. And what's neat over here is this displays the merit. So this is the number of tokens. We have roughly 5. And then the merit defaults to 1 in this case. And so you multiply those two numbers, the token quantity times the token age, to get your merit. So 5 times 1 is 5. And so this account has a merit score of 5. And the idea behind tagging these messages with a merit score is that other people in the community can, at a glance, see how much skin in the game this poster has. And so if this message says something, they can essentially tell how much weight they should put behind this person. If the merit score is 100,000, well, they have enough economic influence with the PSF token that their opinion is probably worth considering. And if they have a merit score of, say, 5, like this account does, they can probably be safely ignored. They might just be making noise. And so this is about giving tools to the people using these communication channels to be able to gauge the seriousness, to be able to amplify the signal and reduce the noise. That's what this is all about. It's not just about having communication, but having better communication. So now that we have shown how to communicate with the community, both in Telegram and over social media using memo.cache, let's show how to send an end-to-end encrypted message to any Bitcoin Cash address in an uncensorable way. So right now, if I go to the read messages area, nothing will come up because this account has not sent or received any messages. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go to the send receive area and retrieve my Bitcoin Cash address. And then I'm going to switch back over to the Brave browser where I have my normal wallet. And I'm going to send a message to this new account. And I'm going to paste that Bitcoin Cash address in here. Notice this is very similar to email. You have a to, a subject, and a message. And essentially that's what we're doing is we're sending the equivalent of an email, except we're sending to a Bitcoin Cash address rather than an email address. And I'm going to put in a subject here. This is a test email. Hello. The subject line is clear text. This gets written to the blockchain, and anybody can see this part of the message. So it's important to keep that in mind. You don't want to put anything that should be private in this box, but anything in the message box will be end-to-end encrypted. So only the person holding the private key for this Bitcoin Cash address will be able to decrypt and read the message. And soon we'll allow the ability to attach files so that you can send files as well as messages to any Bitcoin Cash address end-to-end encrypted. So I'll fill in the message here. Hello, tester. It's great to see you as part of the PSF community. So I'll send this message. This is going to take a second because what it's doing is it's sending a little bit of Bitcoin Cash to that address with this clear text message, just like the memo.cache social media protocol uses. But then the message body, it's actually packaging into a little file, encrypting it, and uploading it to the interplanetary file system. And so it just succeeded. And we have two links here. One is to the payload on the interplanetary file system, and the other is the transaction on the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. So this is where that subject line gets encoded. And sometimes, yeah, here we go. You can see it here where it's decoded in clear text. And then over here, this is the file that was just uploaded to the interplanetary file system. And you can see again, the subject is clear text, but the message body here has been encrypted. So it's out in the public, but because it's encrypted, only the person holding the private key for this Bitcoin Cash address can decrypt the content. So if we go back to our little demo wallet here, and we go to read messages, it may still not pop up because I think it needs one block confirmation. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. And so if we click on it, the wallet app will automatically decrypt the message with the private key for this wallet. And so you don't have to really do anything. It just automatically works, all the encryption and the decryption. This is a huge improvement over email, because in email, you would have to give the other person your public key. You'd have to understand what that is, where to find it. And that all just automatically is taken care of with the blockchain. Same with the decryption. It just automatically decrypts and you don't have to think about it. So that's how to send end-to-end encrypted messages to anyone on Earth in a way that's very, very difficult to censor. And it cost about a penny. So now that we've done that, let's do the final demo, which is staking tokens for the VIP room. Now, I already have verified myself in this room, but normally you would not be able to speak in this room. Anything that you would type would get automatically deleted by the bot. And you can interact with the bot by these three commands. So it's good to start with the /help command to learn about it. But essentially, these are the steps that you have to go through. We already created a wallet at message.fullstack.cash, and we need to sign a message with the word verify and then use the verify command. So if we do /verify and then put in our Bitcoin Cash address. So if I go to send receive, I can get my Bitcoin Cash address here. So I can also go to the wallet tab and get my Bitcoin Cash address here. So I'm going to paste that in. And then if you go to this sign message menu item, you can sign a message with the private key for this wallet. So I'm going to follow the instructions and sign the word verify. And there's the signed message. And I can put it in right there. Now, right now our merit is 0 because we just bought those PSF tokens. They don't have any age. And we need a merit score of 30,000. So that's 1,000 tokens held for 30 days, or 10,000 tokens held for 3 days, or 2,000 tokens held for 15 days. So it's the token quantity times the age of those tokens in days. That's your merit score. And so that's how you would gain access to this VIP room. So for Permissionless Software Foundation community members who want to speak in the VIP room, who have skin in the game, they want to help drive the direction of the Permissionless Software Foundation, this is the way you do it. You get some tokens, you stake them for the amount of time needed to achieve a merit score of 30,000, and then you're allowed to speak in this VIP room, and everybody knows that you have skin in the game, and your voice will be heard because it will be amplified above the noise. Okay, so that completes the demo. We've shown several different communication channels, both specific to the Permissionless Software Foundation as well as personal communication for anyone using Bitcoin Cash. The ability to send end-to-end encrypted messages, to have an uncensorable social media presence. These are incredibly important communication tools in the day and age that we live with so much censorship and deplatforming and government overreach with regulation. So I encourage you to join the conversation. Governance in the Permissionless Software Foundation is changing. This is a really good time for us to reflect and review on our successes and our failures over the last 2 quarters. And I am trying to encourage people who are interested in the Permissionless Software Foundation to show up, put a little skin in the game, and help direct the Permissionless Software Foundation future and the future direction that we take. And so I encourage you to join the public channel on Telegram, say hi, and then really make an impact by joining that VIP channel. And we will be creating committees, technical steering committees, and community committees. And we want people with the skin in the game to have a direct role in the direction that the PSF Foundation takes from here. So I encourage you to join the conversation.